Hi there guys, got a video here for you today on a brand new rifle coming to the channel. This particular one is going to be a little video overview of the brand new FX Pantera. Now before we get started, this particular rifle was purchased using my own money from the Crawley surplus store. We buy all our rifles from the Crawley surplus store simply because, in my opinion at least, they're the best RFD in the country. They provide an excellent service, the people in there are nice, friendly and helpful. They have recently launched a brand new updated website, so if you're interested in taking a look, I'll leave a link in the description below. With that said, we can move on to the rifle. So this particular rifle is a sub 12 pound 177 rifle fitted with the 500mm long barrel in the PRS style chassis. Now the rifle itself can be bought in a number of different configurations, however we chose this particular one as it's sold directly from FX as a target rifle. And the very last thing I want to mention is that I don't like doing negative videos. I do have a very big problem with this rifle, however I think it's important to look at both the good and the bad, as you can very easily paint yourself into a corner when making negative videos. And this rifle does have one very large problem, although we'll be going over both the good and the bad in this video. So we'll start off with the good. And I do want to say that this rifle feels absolutely fantastic to shoot. You have your adjustable butt piece and your adjustable cheek piece at the back here, so you can get the back dialed in exactly how you like it. For me personally, I have the butt piece all the way out and that's absolutely perfect for me. We have swapped out the original grip for an ergo one, although the standard grip is perfectly serviceable. It's a nice, chubby, soft touch grip, so it works quite nicely just out the box. However, I prefer the ergo ones, so I put one of those on there. I will say that you do need the straight angled grip. If you put the back angled grip on there, what will happen is your wrist will actually hit the bottle when you go to grip the rifle. But I quite like the straight grip, so that's not a problem for me. At the back here as well, we do have the removable bottle, so you can degas the rifle very easily. That's always a plus, as it's a lot easier to degas the rifle and you don't lose all the air in the system. Moving forward to the midsection of the rifle, at the back here we have the power wheel, which is a really nice addition. I don't know what they've changed with the D10, but it does feel a lot nicer than other FX rifles. The D10 is nice and positive, and there doesn't seem to be any play or wobble within the power wheel itself. It's definitely a feature I like on the FX rifles, as it allows you to adjust the hammerspring tension on the fly, so you can test different pellet speeds without having to get the tools out and adjust the hammerspring. Speaking of hammersprings, this particular rifle, being a sub 12 one, doesn't come fitted with the quick tune system from standard. Now the reason for that should be obvious, but if you did need to adjust your hammerspring for any reason, you could do so using a 1.5mm Allen key, get it in the side there, and either increasing or decreasing hammerspring tension. Another feature of the sub 12 pound rifles is the small black puck fitted to the adjuster screw on the end of the regulator. So hopefully the camera will focus there, but you have a small black plug in the end of the regulator adjuster screw to stop any adjustments to it. Now we'll obviously be removing that at a later date, although it is fitted from standard to the sub 12 pound rifles. The other thing I really like about this rifle is the two angled gauges on the side of the block. It's really nice and easy just to glance down and see your current pressure, and I really do think that is a fantastic little feature. Moving up, we have the plenum. So the sub 12 pound plenum is a rather small one. You see this join here is the plenum, so we have the shroud here and the plenum here. Now you can remove the shroud without having to degas the rifle. As you can see there, we can just unscrew the shroud nice and easily whilst the rifle is gassed up, although to remove the barrel you do need to completely degas the rifle. So you do that by removing the bottle, dry firing the rifle until there was no air left inside the plenum. But the sub 12 pound rifles do come with a small plenum. Moving forward, we have the front rail. Now I was a little nervous about this when I first saw the pictures of it, because I thought it'd be a little wobbly straight out of the box. Although I can happily say that with a bipod mounted all the way out here, shooting the rifle off the bench you didn't notice any wobble or anything like that within the rail. It was nice and solid, nice and sturdy, and with the bipod mounted all the way out the front here, you do have an incredibly stable shooting platform. It has a ton of M-lock holes all over it, as well as some threaded holes in the bottom. So these ones here are threaded, So there's tons of places to fit all different kinds of accessories. Now the M-lock to Picatinny rail adapter that I bought didn't come in time, so I did have to knock up a little piece of Picatinny rail to screw onto the bottom of the rail. So that's why that piece is silver on my rifle. Although if you've got the arc rail attachment for your bipod, you can just clamp it onto the rail itself. There is an arc rail fitting actually machined into the rail. But there we have that. Now I have got a FX silencer fitted to the end of the barrel, although this doesn't come with a rifle. The end or the shroud is just threaded 1/2 inch UNF to accept a moderator. If we flip the rifle over to this side, we can take a look on this side of the rifle. We have the safety back here, which feels nice and snappy, as well as the cocking arm and the trigger. Now the only thing I don't like about the cocking arm is it is a little tricky, or a little stiff I should say, to pick it up to cock the rifle. So you've got a bit of resistance there when you go to push it forward and to pull it out. So that's something I'm going to change in the very near future. It does have the standard FX trigger, which is pretty much, as far as I can tell at least, the same as the one found on the Impact or the Crown. So if you like those triggers, you'll like this one as well. Next up, we'll talk about the performance of the rifle. So first of all, shot count. From a 200 bar fill, we was able to get about 170 shots from the rifle, so that's not too bad from a 300cc bottle. Next up, we'll show you the chronograph test. So we've got the rifle set up at the range, and we're just using out of the tin pellets straight into a magazine and then shot straight over a chronograph. The pellets we're using are JSB 844s, and as you can see from the chronograph readings, the rifle straight out the box is performing quite nicely. It's nice and consistent, and overall I'm quite happy with how consistent it is straight out the box. So from a 22 shot magazine, we was able to get about a 9 spread over the entire magazine. The next thing I want to show you is my major problem with this particular rifle. My problem is that this rifle is just not accurate. No matter what pellets we put through it, no matter what we do to the rifle, it's just not accurate out the box. I've put about 2,000 pellets through it from all different manufacturers. So I've tried the entire JSB lineup as well as most of the H&N one, and not one pellet shoots nicely through this rifle. The rifle just throws scattergun groups, and even at close range it gets no better. At 50 yards we're averaging about a 2-inch group edge to edge, and from a 1900 pound target rifle that's really not good enough. Now before anyone asks, yes we did change scopes, yes we did change shooters, we changed pellets, we cleaned the barrel, we did everything but take the rifle apart to try and get it to shoot. As you saw from the chronograph test, the rifle was running a little low straight out the box, so we did increase the pellet speed hoping to improve the accuracy, although nothing really changed. This particular rifle is just very inaccurate straight out the box. Now I did talk to the people that I bought the rifle from, and they did reassure me. They told me not to worry and to just bring it straight back. They'll get it repaired, or if it can't be repaired, I'll get a replacement, no problem at all. But obviously fans of the channel will know we work on our own rifles, so if it's broken, we'll fix it. And if I'm honest, whilst it is very disappointing to get the rifle straight out of the box and have it perform like this, it's really not the end of the world to me. I know it's not a regulator issue, and I really do like the way the rifle shoots. So at the absolute worst case scenario, I'll just put a new barrel on it. Although I'm pretty sure if I take it apart, I'll find something silly wrong with it, and I can just repair it myself and have a very accurate rifle. And here are just 2 examples of the groups that this rifle was able to achieve. So if we take a look at this one first, it's very difficult to tell where one group ends and one group starts. It's very much like I just shot a shotgun at the piece of paper. Whereas this one, what I've done is I've just circled all the groups so you can see where they was hitting. Now, I will say that all of these groups here are done using the same pellets, using the same aim point. And you can see, as we walk through them, there is just something majorly wrong with the rifle, as the aim point seems to be shifting pretty much every single group. Now again, we did check all the usual suspects. So we swapped the scope out, we took the shroud off, we took the shroud and mod out and just shot it as a bare barrel with absolutely no improvement. Now, because the rifle is so consistent over the chronograph, I'm ruling out a regulator issue and I'm going to be concentrating on the barrel. I'm pretty sure it's just going to be something really silly wrong with the rifle. Something's going to be loose, or something's going to be wrong actually in the liner setup. So we'll dig through that and try and find it. Absolute worst case scenario, what we'll do is we'll rip out the liner and just put a solid barrel in its place. And I'm pretty sure that will just cure the problem anyway. Right then, so I was going to finish the video off just there, but curiosity got the better of me and I think I found the issue with the liner. So all we've done at the moment is just unscrew the shroud and remove it from the front. The rifle is still gassed up. What we're going to do now is remove the barrel of the rifle. We're going to do that by removing the bottle and then dry firing the rifle in a nice safe direction to empty the plenum. We're going to check the gauges to make sure there's no air left inside the plenum. Then I'm just going to give it one more dry fire just to make sure that there's no air left inside the system. What we're going to do next is unscrew these two screws here using a 2.5mm Allen key. They don't need to be removed all the way, just loosened will do. Next we're going to remove the barrel by loosening these two screws here, so one on either side. Now from the factory these were fitted with some form of Loctite. As you can see there, there's the residue left on the screw. And then on the other side we'll remove the other one. To remove these, what I needed to do was use a standard L-type Allen key, get in the screw there and do a quarter of a turn out, quarter of a turn in, and just keep doing that to wind the Loctite out. The Loctite used is a sealing Loctite, not a fastener lock Loctite. And with those screws removed, we can pull the barrel out. There we have it. So here's the barrel. It does look a slight bit different from the standard liner style. And as you can see there, we do have a rather small transfer port, which will just be for the sub 12 pound versions. So I'll show you the problem with the liner. Right then, so the problem on this rifle is that the liner is able to move with inside the housing. So if we take a look at the end there, you can see the liner position. And then if we take a nice soft nylon rod, so nothing metal, this is just nylon, we'll push the end of the liner. And hopefully you can see that there, the liner is able to move. So the liner can move back and forward within the actual barrel itself. What's happening is the carbon fibre stiffener that's fitted to these barrels is stopping the jam nut from being done up tight. So I'll take the jam nut off. And then you can see the liner there is coming out of the barrel. If we take a look in the end there, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it or not. Hopefully you can see that there, but there is a carbon fibre stiffener within the actual housing itself. This carbon fibre stiffener is too long. What's happening is the jam nut is bottoming out on the stiffener before it's able to tighten up onto the liner. What this is doing is allowing the liner to move backwards and forwards and rotate without any fixing. So that's why we're getting the extremely bad accuracy and the point of impact is just shifting all over the place. What I believe should happen is the liner should go in the end of the barrel like so, pushed all the way to the end with the jam nut done up nice and tight. Like so. What I believe should be happening at this point is that when we screw the shroud support on the end, this shroud support should be flush with the end of the jam nut. The jam nut is being held off because the carbon fibre stiffener is just too long, and that's allowing the liner to just shift around inside. So hopefully that should be a nice simple fix. What I'll do is I'll just take the carbon fibre stiffener out, shorten it by probably 2 or 3 mil, and then that will allow me to capture the liner nice and securely, and the accuracy should be a lot better. But that's something that we'll have to wait until next week, as Saturday is the only day I can get to go down the range. So that's about going to do it for this one, guys. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.